I'm not advocating you go spend $100 on manipulatives and $100 on toys. It's taken me 4 years to build up my toy collection. Hi everyone, good morning and welcome back to the vlog. If you're new here, I'm a special ed teacher in Massachusetts and I am still in school. Everyone else is done with school. They were done at the end of May. All of the other states, I feel like, but here we go until pretty late in June. The good news is we start kind of late, but yeah, it's tricky. It's really challenging to watch everybody on Instagram be on summer break. Right now the countdown says I have 8 days left, including today, so we're getting closer. Next week is my last really full week of school, so I'll be vlogging that. I'm really excited, but overall I just need to kind of get through the time. Today is going to be a little bit of a different structure to a vlog. I will show you just the day and some of the things that we're doing, and just really it's the end of the year, so I kind of don't even care. We are doing our academics, but a lot of other fun things too. But this vlog is going to be a little different today because I want to go through some of the things that I have and talk about things that I love about my classroom, or things that just make sense about my classroom, or products I love, and things that are really necessary, and things that I don't think are necessary or just so extra. So I want to not only vlog but also kind of take you through some of those things as well. So I don't know how long this video is going to be because I'm filming this in the morning, but stick with me and yeah. Let's go. I ordered Dunkin' Donuts. I ordered a cold brew, the Charlie cold brew. Call me basic, but I love it. I didn't have time to make coffee this morning, so we're going with it. And yeah, but it's weird because in Massachusetts, the mask mandate was lifted. And so half of the time when you go into places, there's no one wearing masks. And then the other half of the time, everyone's wearing masks. And it's really weird. I'm still not used to it yet. I'm vaccinated, I'm fine, I can travel, but I don't know, it just kind of gives me the creeps. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my voice. No. Ah! Ooh. All right, we gotta go. All right, everyone, I'm here. I'm in the building. I'm just kind of setting up the last of the things that were needed. I want to show you some of the things that we're doing today just because I love adding that to the vlog. But today's going to be a pretty normal day. I'll also give you a sneak peek into some of the things that I'm doing for the end of the year. I'm filming 2 videos simultaneously. One is as I prepare the last couple weeks to pack up everything in my classroom and get all of my end of year stuff ready and stuff for September. But I'm also still teaching and have to plan, so it's kind of like a mix of both. So let me show you some of the things that we're doing really quick before I get the day started. There you are. Hello. So the past couple weeks, I've not been vlogging as much because I've had many other videos happening and I've been traveling. One of the things that I've just kind of reached a point is that we are not introducing any new skills. So the IEP goals that they've been working on, we're just maintaining them. And so because of that, we're doing a lot of tasks during our academic times. So some of my students are working on different numbers. So I have these books from Mrs. D's Corner, my friend. I love Stephanie. And so different numbers depending on what the kids are working on. We've been doing these booklets. We've been doing a lot of different tasks. I either keep my tasks in task boxes or in baggies. A lot of these I borrowed from the teacher downstairs because a lot of my tasks are still in storage. And I have to make new ones this year for higher level, but basically I keep them all in baggies. A lot of them are made for me literacy and some that I've made myself, and some from just freebies off the internet that I've kind of cut up into strips like tasks. So if you're interested in a video about how to make free task baggies or task boxes, let me know. I think I've made one about math centers, but I would gladly make another one. So that's kind of what we're doing for everyone. Their different IEP goals. I'm just trying to make sure as we get to the last like week or so of school, we're just checking in on all of their goals. Me and my paraprofessionals, we all have our data sheets every day. We're just watching them as they do these tasks more independently, just to see kind of where they're at. And that's what I like to do towards the end of the school year. Some kids are working on patterns and shapes, so they have a lot of those things going on. I usually break kids up into groups based off of ability normally, but for the last week or so, and again next week, our last week of school, I'm actually going to be breaking them up based off of their friend group. Sorry, the street's really, really loud. But basically I'm breaking them up by friend groups because I really need them to be as present as possible so I can get the best data for the end of the year. So it's not really been by ability. It's just been like you're doing your task at your table with a staff member, and if it's your friend, cool, that helps us even more. So that's kind of the bulk of what we've been doing. For science, we've been doing magnets, and we've been testing out magnets on different surfaces. It's really easy, really cheap because I have magnet tiles, so we use that. Let's think, what else have I been up to? Oh, okay. So as the year ends, I'm starting to kind of show you all the things that we're doing to prepare. So let me show you some of the end of the year stuff. You are crooked. Oh, well, okay, so I like to do a lot of things for the end of the year. Again, I'm filming a whole video of me as I start to pack up, go through my process, and just kind of explain it. There will be ESY, which is extended school year, happening in my classroom this summer. I will not be teaching it, but I do need to at least make sure that the desks are there, the tables are there, and just basic materials like tasks and stuff are available, and manipulatives and such. So, I've kind of just been going through and making sure that I have all of those things ready. I don't need to plan it or anything. I've just been giving that ESY teacher that's going to be here this summer, I just kind of have left them some activities that we didn't get to, so hopefully that will help them during ESY. But yeah, so basically I've been doing a lot. So one of the big things is that when I come back in August, later in August, I'll come back for a couple days just to do some big prep, and I don't really want to prep it all right now because I'm kind of tired, but I'm gonna print it all and have it in stacks so that when I come back in August I can just sit down, put my headphones in, and do all of those things. I'm pretty much not working this summer on any teacher related stuff. If I make some videos, it'll probably be books that I've bought, or making a few adapted books and a few small little crafts, but I'm not doing like big bulky stuff like my calendar and all my big stuff. I need a break, and yeah, I can't even mentally think about it. So I printed more. This is also from Mrs. D's Corner, actually. These are for their morning work, what are they called? Morning work binders. So I have all the binders here, and I'm actually going to get one more new student in my classroom next year, so I have to get one more. But I have 5 binders, 6 binders. I don't know where the 6th is. Oh, weird. And then these things. So these will be ready for me to kind of prep in August. I have so many more tasks. I've shown these in previous videos, but little task cards for multiplication, money tasks that I got from Super Teacher Worksheets, made for me literacy stuff that I just printed. I'm going to do this in August, like I just said. I also purchased, I don't have it like in front of me, but I purchased Tara West's first grade math and literacy centers. It was about $40, but it comes like 100 and something centers. I'm so excited. So I purchased it. I haven't printed it yet. It's going to kind of take me a while. I think I'm going to spend one of my prep periods next week, or like that last day of school that I have where there are no kids. I'm going to print a gabillion of them. And I have zip, what are those things? Those Amazon baggies. And I'm just going to kind of go through and put them in the right baggies so that I don't have to think about it. And then I'll just laminate them when I come in August again. So that's kind of like the bulk of what we're doing right now. Yeah, I have to kind of get this stuff ready. Oh, sorry, some of my brain works. The other thing I'm probably going to do this summer is make like sensory bins because those are kind of fun to make, and I'm going to make some TPT products, so if I make them, I'll keep them for my students, and just kind of read the novels that we're going to read this year. That's kind of like the only work related stuff that I'm doing, but I'm traveling a lot this summer, and I'm taking the month of August off from social media, so we'll talk more about that in another video. But yeah, all right, hello. I can't show it, but my school has a, what's it called? A newspaper that comes out every couple months. There's another teacher at my school that is pretty big in social media too. She's really cool, and she makes our newspaper, and she's just really, you know, crafty and like has all the photos and stuff. It's funny when we don't talk about how we're at the same school, and I don't know if we'll ever talk about it, but sometimes we get tagged in things together on Instagram. That's happened to me 1 or 2 times with her. And sometimes I'll talk to other people and they're like, oh, have you met this person from Massachusetts who's on social media? And I'm like, yes, I have. We actually work together. But anyway, I got a copy of the newspaper because my students were featured in it because we have our garden, which I haven't shown on YouTube just because it has kids' pictures and names and the school and all that stuff. So I don't really feel comfortable showing it. But yeah, they got featured in an article. The occupational therapist wrote the article up. It is so cute. Yeah, I wanted to keep a copy because it's just so precious, and I want to keep that forever. I love that my school, and it's like not just like a little newspaper, like look, it's like the real news, like look, it's like the real newspaper stuff. Ah, so exciting. I have report cards and progress reports due today. I think maybe tomorrow morning. So while I was in my prep period today, I was doing my report cards and just planning for the last week of school. And then I have to finish my progress reports, which don't take me too long because I keep all of my data on Google Drive. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of have to like get going and like type those out. But today was good. I mean, there were so many like funny stories that happened today. Just like kids being silly. One of my students accidentally like, 2 kids were playing and one kid like accidentally fell on the floor, and then it was like a big drama, and then at the end of the day they were like playing and having fun. And that's just what I love about kids, is that they get mad at each other but then they're like still friends. And then just like silly comments were made, and I don't know, it was a ton of fun. I feel like as we get to the end of the year, it's not only me that has like less stamina, but it's also my kids that have less stamina. So they've just not been engaged in anything that I'm doing. So it's kind of irritating for me and irritating for them. They're like, Miss Martin, be quiet. And I'm like, listen to me, but they don't want to listen to me. So I don't know. It's just kind of like a weird mix. All right. Hello. Sorry, it's much later. I finished my progress reports. So I thought that I would stop for a second and do what I had wanted to do at the beginning of the video, which is talk about the things in my classroom that I love or things that just make sense. And I feel like I say this in every video, but this is not my classroom. This is not my real classroom. This is where I've been put during COVID. So it's an amazing classroom. I love it. I'm not complaining. It has so much space, so much light and ventilation. I'm obsessed with it. I wanted to talk about things in my classroom that have just been so helpful and so amazing. And I think I'm just on this train of like things that nobody told me when I started special ed, or things that people shouldn't buy, or things that people shouldn't worry about, because a lot of people are about to jump into this profession, or they started last year, they're teaching remotely and they're about to be in person for the first time. And so there are so many things that are worth learning about and things that you don't need to get. So I have a lot of things here that I think are so worth it and just so amazing to have in your classroom that are pretty cheap. And then there are things that I wish I didn't buy. And some might be redundant from my previous video, but oh well. Okay, so I think one of the most important things for me is pocket charts. So I have standing pocket charts, ones that hang from the wall, and a lot of those you can buy at the dollar store for $1, or off of Amazon, or wait till a bunch of them come in Target Dollar Spot. I bought my calendar pocket chart from Target Dollar Spot a couple years ago, and it has lasted a long time. So I think those are really helpful because you don't need to always laminate things. If you're talking about vocabulary, you can keep keep it up all week in the Pocket Charts. And I have students who they're learning certain sight words and we keep them there, or certain letters. And I just feel like I have so many, and none of them I paid very much for, no more than $5, but they're worth it. They're really, really helpful. I think that a lot of this can be combined. I think storage is so important. So storage in terms of like in my classroom downstairs, my real classroom, I have storage for all of our materials for different subject areas when I think of like getting tasks and activities. For my students this year, I did it for COVID, but I'm definitely going to keep it, which are these like 3-drawer systems. So they can keep like their supplies and their binders and things like that right next to their desk. And so I'm definitely keeping that going forward. I think just any type of storage thing. But I think before people go, great, let me go buy $500 worth of storage, it has to be intentional. And I think buying storage without knowing the layout of your classroom is not worth it. I think it's better to spend less money, get into your classroom like, you know, at the beginning of August, or ask if you can go a day early just to look, and then go buy the storage stuff. And so knowing that maybe you need a couple Sterilite bins. I love Sterilite bins. Actually every storage thing I have, I think most of them are Sterilite or from Michaels. Things like that, but don't overdo it. And I think people get really hung up on like, it needs to all match and be perfectly aesthetic, or it needs to fit perfectly like this, or they all need to have the same clasp and handle. And if you're type A and you need it to look like that, like more power to you. But I would wait to get storage until you know how it's going to fit in the space, because there were storage boxes that I had to store in my personal basement because I didn't have space for them in my classroom once I got here. I think that the thing I love, one of the biggest things that I love about my classroom is like schedule and scheduling. I always have a schedule for my staff. I print off the daily schedule for each day and they have it. I just make it simply in Google Sheets. If you're interested in that product, I'll leave it linked down below. It helps me plan inclusion and all of those things. And I also have bigger schedules for me as a person and timers, because I literally will get off track if I don't have a schedule because there's so many moving pieces. So I love my schedule. I think it makes so much sense. I have students that every day will just out loud tell me the schedule because they're looking at it. It gives them so much peace and it helps them know what's coming next in the day. I think that's something that I think makes the most sense in a special ed room is having toys and manipulatives. I'll put them together even though they're for different reasons. I think that toys, I remember getting to school my first year not having any toys. I don't know. I wasn't thinking about toys. I was thinking about getting counters and manipulatives and a few things, but I was mostly thinking, what binders do I need? What things am I going to buy on Teachers Pay Teachers? But in reality, I should have been going to yard sales and buying tons of toys, and not garbage toys, but builders and blocks and these little things. And so I think that toys make so much sense in a room like this. And even if they're older grades, I think they still want toys and they want times to play, and it's not all work all the time. There probably should be a moment of freedom. And so toys, I think, just have made so much sense. And I actually ordered a big piece of furniture in my classroom furniture order that has, I think, 20 spots, and it's just for the toys. And it sounds so extra, but I really need them. And you can use toys for other things too. And manipulatives kind of go hand in hand, just a place for manipulatives and multiple kinds of manipulatives, because I have students where they can add just with simple circle counters, but I want them to know that if they're out and about and they need to add, they can use pennies, they can use beans, they can use whatever. So I try to have a variety of cheap counters. A lot of people love the erasers from Target. Those are so incredible. If you're not in America and you don't have Target, then they're just these little mini erasers that you can buy on Amazon and stuff. But those make great manipulatives as well. Those little poppets or poppers or whatever, great options too. And I'm not advocating you go spend $100 on manipulatives and $100 on toys. It's taken me 4 years to build up my toy collection, and it's taken me 4 years to get some manipulatives, and some teachers who've retired have given me some. I went to Goodwill or Salvation Army or something one year, and I found a box that a teacher must have donated of just manipulatives. Like, that's it. Like, it's taken me a while to get these things, but they're worth it when you have them, and it's better to have quality things that have taken you 4 years to get than buying a bunch right away. Use beans for a year until you can get more, basically. I think that something that I never really thought of until last year, I think, was like sensory and sensory options and sensory bins. One of my students definitely just piled this full of what's it called? Play-Doh. Every student has a thing like this, and it has some sand and some Play-Doh. And these stay in their drawer, like bins that they have near their desks. And they always have access to them. And at first I've had pushback from paraprofessional or different people being like, but won't they access it all the time? And I'm like, honestly, I hope they do. Like, I hope as I'm teaching, they get out their Play-Doh. And if they're distracted, then they're distracted. But chances are they needed that sensory input. And I'd rather them get it themselves and advocate for that need that they have versus like, you know, being agitated and edgy and antsy and not even listening to anything that I say. And I think as the year has gone on, they've utilized it. Ooh, sorry. That almost fell. They've utilized it better and better as we've gone on. Even bigger, I have bins with beans and little trinkets to find. The trinkets I got at the dollar store, the big bags of beans I got at Walmart. And at the dollar store, you can also buy, they almost kind of look like this. Sorry, this has my coins in them, fake coins. But they like have things that look like this that have like tops, kind of like Sterilite bins at the dollar store. They're a little cheaper, but they're perfect if you're not like gonna, you know, break them. And I put beans in some, I put rice in some, and you have to be careful with students who will spill everything, but that's okay. And also some families do not want to play with food. So in that case, I have blue beads and you know, cotton balls in one and stuff like that. I think that some things I feel like can like be glazed over really fast, which is like something that makes sense in my classroom is like stuff to organize with. So like binders for their data or Google folders for their data, you know, things to hold the iPads, things to hold the headphones, just anything that kind of is like that. I'm not going to show you all the examples because whatever works in your classroom and in your space is best. I think having access to water bottles is something that I always took for granted, but now I know students really need water. And so that has been like a really good thing. I guess I want to shift gears to things that I realized I didn't need as the time went on. I think one of the things I wanted was I wanted like a huge library. And I didn't realize that teachers who had huge libraries were because they'd been teaching for so long. So like it's not realistic to think that in one summer you're going to find 500 books and somehow not lose all your money. Like I go to the like Goodwill or the thrift store probably every other week, and I get like 10 books, and I get gifted a lot of books. I do buy like new releases because I love books. Like as a human, I love books, but I kind of regret that I like went ham, so to speak, on all the books that I bought my first year or like right before my first year. I feel like I spent way too much money on books that I don't even care about. Like I would rather intentionally curate an incredible library of titles that are going to be engaging to my kids versus like just random things. And so I've been really working on my collection of board books, and I have a lot of them actually at home, but you know, trying to be strategic about getting board books and then getting really amazing titles, really amazing illustrators. I illustrate on the side, and I love art and I love creativity and illustrations specifically. So I think I'm just realizing that like if I want to buy books, I want to buy ones that I can use in a variety of ways and that my students will really like. And yeah, but also students will rip them up. So spending a ton of money on books when your students might rip the pages is just also like not worth it. I've talked about this before, and I talked about it in my previous video, but I feel like things that I regret / things that do not make sense, that should not happen, is buying all sorts of tasks. Like every kind of task. I should not have bought, and I talked about it more at length previously, but even like I'll put a little clip here of like the task boxes that I have that now as I teach higher grades, I don't even use them, and some I've just given away. Like so many things I've given away because I don't use them anymore. I had 3 milk crates full of like simple, 1 through 5 counting activities, and I was like, I'm not going to use this anymore. Like it was fun to make, but I'm not going to use it. And I gave it to a local teacher that I found and DM'd. And so it's just stuff like that I don't know. It's not worth it. I think enjoy your summer and, do simple activities until you can start to build up your own library of tasks based off of what you're going to need versus like buying 10,000 bundles and yeah. Things that like don't make sense that I still have to keep. I think sometimes calendar sets can be too much. You don't need to spend 45 minutes on the rug. Like, come on. Those don't always make sense to me. Like, go through the basics and let's move on. I think buying cheap like materials, like not Crayola crayons and things like that, like no. I did that once. I'll never do it again. It doesn't make sense. It's not worth it. If you don't, this is controversial. If you don't have a reason for one of those rainbow rolling carts, then don't buy them. Don't buy them just because you think that they're gonna like serve a purpose. They don't. I have had my rainbow cart and I love it, but it always serves a different purpose every year because every year there's different need, and every year I kind of go, oh, I guess I don't need it as much as I thought I did, and then no. And especially if you're in special ed, it's not like you can be like, oh, let me do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because we have so many different kids. And sorry, there's a helicopter flying above. Oh, wait a second. It's not like in special ed you can be like, oh, this is all the stuff we're doing on Monday. Like it doesn't work like that because we teach so many different kids. So it's like, I don't know. I think if you don't need one, don't get one. I think that's something that, oh, I forgot to add this earlier. A fridge. I actually have 2 fridges. One for the kids' food and one for the adult food. But yeah, fridges do make sense. But I think if you are not the type to like keep your food there, or you eat out a lot, or your students don't really need it, like then don't spend $200 something on a fridge. Like it's not, that is also not worth it to buy. And so I think stuff like that. That's my little rant for you in my mini little vlog. I hope that there was something here that resonated. It was just like a fun, chill vlog. Please stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Leave in the comments, anything you want to add. I'm trying to go through my comments, but they're a bit overwhelming right now. But there's a lot more to come. This summer, I don't know. I'm traveling to different places, and I might vlog, I might not. And like I kind of mentioned earlier, and I'll talk about it more, I'm going to take the entire month of August off of social media just because, I don't know, I want to, and there's no point in doing it. So yeah, if you're along for the ride, great. But I'm super pumped to finish this school year and just get a little, I don't know, to sleep in, I guess. That's what I'm most excited about, honestly, to sleep in. So yeah, I have to go because it's now like 4:30 and I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I want to go home. So I will see you all in the next video. Bye.